What is your name?
Ibrahim Ajallo.
Where did you move from?
I moved from Guinea in West Africa.
This is Guinea in West Africa.
It's a long story, but to make it short, when I was at the University of Conakry in Guinea, I wanted to come to a Western country to finish my education. I was a medical student. I needed 2 more years to finish my education. Then I had the lottery visa. So if you have that lottery visa, you have to come in the US within 6 months. So I had to make a choice between staying there, finish my medical school, or coming here, start my life all over again. Due to many problems going on back home regarding politics and the freedom, mainly freedom. If you are there, you are not free because the government controls everything. And I figured out I didn't want to live that the rest of my life, and I didn't want my kids to live that kind of life. I decided to move here, finish my goal to study and get a degree at a Western country, mainly in the US, then have my kids in this country so that they would have a better future. I knew it would have been a long road, but I decided to do that one, and instead of finishing my medical school back home.
Who did you come with?
I came with my brother. He's 3 years older than me. He is currently in San Diego. He's working there. Yes, it's very difficult, a very difficult situation. But if you look at the long run, you figure out it's productive and it's worth it. But if you look at the short run, you figure out it's so difficult. When we moved here, the two of us, all our family were back home. But we have our uncle here. He's the one who sponsored us to come. So we had some help at the beginning. Then, after that, we had to do everything on our own. In Orange County, we don't have many Guinean people from my country who live here. So we have to learn everything by ourselves. So you cannot buddy a friend to go to a store, then they show you, they're going to tell you, okay, this is this, this is this. So we had to learn everything by ourselves. And what make it more difficult, when I came here, I didn't know anything about English. I came here on January 18, 1999. Then on February 7th, I started my English classes. And I didn't know nothing about English. So I had to study 8 hours a day, 5 days a week English, like a full-time job. And when we started living here, as I said, we had to go to stores. Wherever we go, we had to learn everything by ourselves, because when we came, our uncle was working, and he's an older adult. He doesn't have time to buddy with us to all the time to go to do stuff. And it was not easy. Finding a job, it was very difficult to find the first job, because if you are new wherever you go, they're going to ask you, what is your job history? And if you don't have a job history, they think you don't know what you are doing, or maybe you are not qualified, especially if you are in your 30s. When I came here, I was on my late 20s, so it was difficult to find a new job, but I was lucky to find a job at a store where I started the work. Very difficult. It was very difficult to adapt to the American culture. Let's take an example of the words that you use. You go at school, you read, they give you the grammar. Then, but when you go to places, you pronounce what you've studied at school. People cannot understand what you are talking. You have to get used to the way people are pronouncing the words. So that is different from what you are writing. So getting used to that pronunciation was difficult. And when you deal with people, from what I learned, people don't like to ask them, oh, where do you live? They get scared most of them because they might think you want to go there, things like that. For us, you can ask at any time, where do you live? Oh, I live over there. It was not a problem, but I figured out people don't like that. Like keeping distances when you go to public places. They want you have leave a distance between. Let's go, if you go to the bank, they want you to leave a distance between the next person and the person behind you. Back home we leave that distance, but it's a shorter distance. And hand gestures. And if you use this finger over here, people would say, okay, that's a big insult. For us, it's not an insult. It's just a finger. So it's totally different. So you have to get used to it. And there isn't a place where you can go learn those like a grammar book. While interacting with people, that when you learn it, when you figure out, oh, this person is upset, you figure out you don't know what you did wrong. You ask, they're going to tell you what you did wrong. Or somebody else might tell you, oh, this was wrong. Sometimes in the movies, you see things, you figure out, okay, this is wrong. Sometimes you see people in real life interacting, somebody is upset, they do something, you figure out, okay, this is wrong. So it was difficult to adapt to this culture. I'm still learning. I've been here for 16 years, but I'm still learning the culture. Some do, some don't. But going to a foreign country, it's a big decision to make. The reason for that, when you go, you meet with all kind of people. Some will like you for sure, some will hate you. You can't avoid that in life. But you have to take it easy on you. For those people who like you, cooperate with them. The one who don't like you, just give them a space. Leave them alone. In some instances, I had some people, I figured out, okay, here is a person who is treating me differently. I don't know if it's based on my color. I don't know if it's based on my gender. I don't know if they hate my accent. I just find here is a person who doesn't like me. I say, okay, that person is not the only one who can do a service. But let's say if you go, the person is sitting in an office, they have to do their job because the companies cannot tolerate those things. So when you find them there, they cannot show you who they are. But if you meet with them at, let's say, to the local supermarket, they can show you who they are if you are interacting with them. They see you, they just turn their back. You want to ask them a question or any type of interaction with them, they will just avoid you. You see that happening, but it's part of life. Everybody won't like you and everybody won't hate you. You will be in the middle all the time. To me, if a person goes too far, then I'll make it a big deal. But if I figure out it's not, they don't do far, and it won't affect my life, what they're doing is mainly affecting my life. If a person hates me, I figure out it's affecting my life, affecting my health, affecting my future, then I will react. If not, I'll let it go.
Coming to America?
I expected things to be very difficult. I knew it from the beginning. I knew I was coming to a different culture. I knew I was coming where I cannot speak the language. When I get here, for instance, in this room, I didn't know any name of anything in this room, nothing. So learning that, I knew it would be difficult. But staying home would have been the worst, because we had a military dictator back then. Now we have another dictator. We are just having from one dictator to another. And the dictator that we had then was, it was just difficult to live there, because his ethnic group was controlling everything going on in the state. If you want to get a good job, you have to, the right word for them to understand is like lobbying. You have to go after them. Can you do this for, like, you take away your dignity, you forget your dignity, you run behind their ethnic group in order to get a good job, in order to do things that people were supposed to have naturally. I figured out I was not ready to go after these people. When we were in high school, we organized strikes many times to demonstrate to the government that what they were doing, we didn't like it. When I was at the university, we did the same thing. We had many strikes. And sometimes the strikes last more than 3 months. No school for the whole country. Then they solved some issues, but the issues were never solved, because it's the system. That's the way they put the system in place. They will pretend for a week they're gonna change, but they never change. So I decided, instead of going back and forth, going from strike, you might end up being hurt at all the time. We had friends when we were going to work to request our rights, they shoot at some people. Some people died, some get hurt. You see all that kind of stuff. But sometimes you just have to face it, because that's your future. If you let them do whatever they want, you don't say a word, it would just be very difficult. So that's why I decided to live there, come over here. I knew from friends and from what I see in the movies, if you are here, you work hard, you can make your living. I decided to come here, work hard, make my living, start a new life. So I would, even if I had to do it again, I'm ready to do it. But I just can't stand those people back home.